Hi guys, it is Miss Kessous here, and she's here to teach you how to factor. Oh my god, so exciting. So you just learned how to factor. I hope you were dancing a little bit, took a couple notes, and now I'm just going to recap on the three main types that are maybe a little bit new, which is factor by grouping. So everything under that umbrella. And so you're going to see here, we have this long expression, no equal sign, and it has four terms in it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If I've got four terms, my brain always goes to factor by grouping. So I'm going to show you how to do that because that may be new to you. So the first thing we always look for is look for a GCF. Make sure you take notes on all of this. And in this case, there is no number that divides into all of these, so there's no GCF, and all of them don't have a variable. So I go right to the next step. And the second step is I'm going to group and factor. So this is what that looks like. I group the first two and I group the second two. And I say, what can divide out of 3x to the third and 5x to the fifth? Well, 1 is the only thing that divides out of 3 and 5. And then the smallest exponent would be squared. So it's going to be 1x squared. So I write the 1x squared outside parentheses like that. Okay? Now, I say I divide both terms by 1x squared. So I'm going to divide this by 1x squared and divide that by 1x squared. And when you do that, you get 3x, just 3x, minus 5. Awesome. Now I'm going to come over to this guy. And what can divide out of 27 and also out of 45? Ooh, they can both be divided by 9. Excellent. So we're going to divide by 9. They don't both have an x, and you bring down the sign. So minus 9, meaning I'm dividing by negative 9. So when I do that, I divide each of these by negative 9. Negative 27x divided by negative 9 is 3x. Positive 45 divided by negative 9 is negative 5. Now this is the third step. It must be the same in both parentheses. So same, that means you did the right thing. So whenever it's same, you did the right thing. And now all we have to do is take the two terms that are outside and put those together, x squared minus 9 and 3x minus 5. We only write the 3x minus 5 once because technically we're distributing this and this. And that's the same thing that's happening here. This and that. Okay, so it's the same exact thing. Only thing is I check to see, so that was my rewrite step, and now I just check to see, can I factor more? So fifth step, can I factor further? If you can, you do it. So hopefully in the video you remembered difference of perfect squares, DOS. Okay, difference of perfect squares means that both terms are perfect squares and there's a minus in the middle. So this factors to x plus 3 and x minus 3. Because 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, but 3 plus negative 3 is 0, and that's why there's no middle term. And then I just bring down my 3x minus 5. And that's factor by grouping. If you had gotten to this step and there was no more factoring you could do, you just leave it alone. That would have been it. Okay, so now let's do another factor by grouping. So remember that first we look for the GCF. And here I do have a number that can divide out of everything. And that is 2. And I do have a variable. So you look for the smallest number and the smallest variable, and that's going to be my GCF. So here my GCF is going to be 2x. And so I divide everything by 2x, and the GCF goes in front. So you divide that out and you get x to the third plus 6x squared minus 11x minus 132 divided by 2 is 66. No x there because x divided by x cancels out. So now we're going to do grouping. So 2 is grouping. And so we group and we group. And we say, well, the only thing that can divide out of both of those is 1, but we also, both of them have an x squared. So it's 1x squared, parenthesis x plus 6. And then here I can bring down the sign, minus, and 11 can divide out of both. So I divide that out of both. Negative 11x divided by negative 11 is positive x. Negative 66 divided by negative 11 is positive 6. We check if it's the same, 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 same. And it is. Oh my god, phone, be quiet. Sorry about that, guys. And so now we write x squared minus 11 and x plus 6. And now we check if we can keep going. So are these perfect squares? 11 is not, so this is my final answer. And that's factor by grouping. I just have to remember to bring down the GCF in front. So GCF always goes in very front. All right, so that's factor by grouping. Now we're going to take that concept to factor trinomials. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. Trinomial factoring. So you may know this as old school. You make a little diamond. You put the C up here and the B here. So you say what multiplies to negative 16 and adds up to 6. Well, multiplies to negative 16, 8 and 2, but one of them has to be negative, and it's going to be the negative 2. So you're finding the two numbers that multiply to C and that add up to B. So hopefully you remember that. And when you write it, you write x plus 8 because that's positive, and x minus 2 because that's negative. And that's it. If you multiplied this together using box method, you'd end up back at x squared plus 6x minus 16. I'll show you just so you can see really quickly. If you did x plus 8, x minus 2, x squared plus 8x minus 2x minus 16, like terms, and you get x squared plus 6x minus 16. Awesome. So I'm going to erase that. So if you need, pause, write it down. You can always go back in a video. All right, so now we're going to do the same concept, but what happens when A is not 1? So I'm going to first write, we know ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, do you remember that? Quadratic standard form. Like y equals mx plus b, ax squared plus bx plus c. So the 6 is the a, the negative 10 is the c, and the negative 7 is the b. So we're going to set up the same idea that we did in the last one, but this is the big difference. On top, we're putting a times c instead of just c. Okay, so now let's fill that in. A times c is 6 times negative 10, so that's negative 60, and the b is negative 7. Awesome. Now we want to find what multiplies to negative 60 and adds up to negative 7. So I'm going to start writing out some things. So I know it can be negative 1 and 60, negative 2 and 30, negative 3 and 20. Can I divide by 4? Yep, negative 4 and 15. Wait a second. That seems like I'm getting close. Nope. Okay, negative 5. If I tried adding them and it did not add up to the right thing. And 12. Let's try that. Negative 5 plus 12. And there we go. Now, the only thing is that this would add up to positive 7. I need it to be negative 7, so I just switch my signs. Positive 5, negative 12. Just double check it. 5 times negative 12 is negative 60. 5 plus negative 12 is negative 7. Perfect. So A stays the same, 6x squared. C stays the same, negative 10. This is the part that's different. We're going to split up our middle term to positive 5x and negative 12x. Okay, doesn't matter what order you go in. And now we're going to group. So we're going to group these two together and group these two together. Okay, so we're going to now look what factors, remember the GCF, into both of these. And here it's just 1x. It's not always that, but happens to be in our case. And we divide each by 1x and we get 6x plus 5. And I bring down the sign, negative. What divides into both of those? 2. Okay, so now I'm going to divide each by negative 2. I get positive 6x. I get positive 5. I check, is it the same in each one? Same, same, and it is. So I write my answer as x minus 2 and 6x plus 5. And you could use the box to check it out and make sure that it works. That's it for today. Have fun and practice, practice, practice.